Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to Mobile Last Football. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are back with your favorite pundits, Papa Dennis. We're going to discuss about the casualties of the derbies, Manchester Derby, North London Derby, and we look at how the games went. We also going to look at the Champions League. We're going to do a preview of the Champions League. Some of the games that are important, of course, Barcelona versus Inter Milan. So we'll start with the Manchester Derby. Rather, we'll look at the derbies that we'll discuss. We'll look at what we've learned from the derbies, some of the players that didn't perform very well in the derbies, and some of the players that performed very well in the derbies. So we'll discuss about that. Again, we talk about the coaches, what they did, what was expected to be done, but didn't go as it was planned. Talk about Haaland a bit. Talk about him. He's been breaking records left, right, and center in England. Actually, people are saying that Haaland and Pep are making English Premier League to look like a farmers' league. Do you agree with that? Let's go, Papa.
I'm here.
Yeah.
There's nothing like farmers' league.
Yeah.
Haaland is scoring goals. He used to score goals at Dortmund, at Salzburg, and his job is to score goals.
Exactly.
The question should be, what kind of goals is he scoring at the most? That should be the question, not about farmers' league. You look at Lewandowski. You look at Mbappe. You look at the Cristiano Messi. Be it Salah, be it Luis Diaz. If you compare goals, they are different from the goals that Haaland scores. At the most, Haaland is in the box. That is a fact. Exactly. When you watch the game against Manchester United, Haaland hit a ball. He could have shoot. Like you saw Anton doing for Manchester, Partey doing for Arsenal, Gallagher for Chelsea, Skamaka for Wolves. Haaland could not shoot. He looked for Grealish in the box. After giving the pass, he ran towards the box to be given the ball so that he can score. So that's why I'm telling you, the problem is he only waits in the box. So you have to get back to Van Nistelrooy. In the old days, that means that Haaland is copying Van Nistelrooy. He's not copying Mbappe or Messi or Cristiano or Salah. That is a fact. There is nothing like farmers' league.
Okay,
Pep had the Messi as false nine. Messi could score from anywhere. Messi could shoot a front kick, could score a penalty, could score when he don't get three guys in the defense, even four. The whole defense is sleeping and scoring. Haaland cannot do that. We will see Foden doing it. Foden can do it. Why can't Haaland do that? There is nothing like farmers league.
You have to give him credit with what he does. Of course, he's very good at the box. And with Man City having good deliverers of the ball, especially the likes of Grealish, the likes of De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, he can always do very well in that, because that is what he does best in the box. He's very good at that point. Good in positioning, making sure that he's in the right position at the right time, receiving the ball, and he does the necessary, which is scoring goals. You see, it doesn't matter how best thing is to make sure that the ball is in the net.
I have a question for you.
Exactly. Go on.
Tell me if De Bruyne won't be fit or won't play for Manchester City, will Haaland score?
Let me tell you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who will be fit. It doesn't matter who will be there playing with Haaland. The best thing is that he knows how to position himself. As long as the team creates the chances, sometimes you can have both of those players in the field, but the team does not create the chances. So Haaland depends on how the team plays. If the team plays well, definitely when he gets the chances, he'll score, because he's very good at positioning himself. It doesn't matter who plays. In fact, when he gets the chances and he's in the right position at the right time, he can always score. For me, because he was playing at Dortmund, he scored goals. He was playing at Salzburg. He scored goals. So if a team takes chances, definitely Haaland will score. For me, I think that is the case. Because you need such kind
I
of
am
players. Sometimes you need such kind of players. Sometimes you create a lot of chances. You have very good creators in the field, but the problem is getting someone who always stays at the right time, at the right place at the right time to score goals. So for me, I think if a team plays well, Haaland will always score goals, and actually, he'll score tons of goals.
I want to tell you this.
Yeah,
In a team, a
yeah,
coach wants competition. A
exactly,
coach wants 2 or more players for a given position. And that's why
exactly.
in Manchester, you see people saying Maguire should not start because they have Lisandro and Varane at the center.
Yeah,
At Manchester City, Haaland
yeah,
has Alvarez. Alvarez is not playing as Haaland is playing.
yeah,
Remember, Haaland
yeah,
playing
yeah,
each and every time.
yeah.
Alvarez is missing it because Haaland is good at the positioning. But
Exactly.
the question should be, if he is good at the
Yes.
positioning, tell me the day when the one looking for
Yeah.
him will not play. We will see teams struggling like Chelsea when they don't have Kante. They don't perform. If Man City won't have the Bruyne, will they perform? If you talk about Grealish has been struggling. It is only in this game of Manchester United that he has played as he expected. But I'm very much sure Grealish was shining because of the right back at Manchester United did not play as expected. The issue of people telling me or saying that Haaland is good is only good while in the box. When you don't keep Haaland in the box, when you don't allow him in the box, he won't score goals. We've seen players like Luis Diaz of Liverpool scoring far from the box. I've told
Yeah.
you. We've seen
Yeah.
Salah. We also saw Mane.
Yeah.
We've seen Anthony for Manchester United. Skamaka.
Yeah.
I want Haaland to score
Yeah.
away from the box and do it regularly and
But
score classy goals. I
I
want to
don't
see
know.
goals.
Yeah.
Get my point. I want to see goals that will run for the vote for goal of the month, goal of the season. Last weekend, the one that passed, you saw Skamaka scoring, you saw
Okay.
Gallagher, you saw
Yeah.
Patty, you saw
Yeah.
Anthony. The goals
Yeah.
are of the same style from the same distance. But
Yeah.
Haaland is busy in the box, scoring
Mm-hmm.
from inside the box. Now I'm asking you, the day
Yeah.
when because the coaches against the Palace, he could not do the
Against
same.
Palace.
Against Palace. So
Yeah.
we've got teams that will go and do homework for Haaland. Teams will do homework for De Bruyne. Once De Bruyne is not in the game, Haaland won't go. And that's when you will be told Haaland is a small team player or a bad informed team opponent.
Yeah.
Are we
Okay.
together?
Okay.
We've
I
seen
get your
players,
point.
we've
Mm-hmm.
seen players who show up when the team is in poor form and
Yeah.
when the team is flying.
Yeah.
When Man City will have a bad form, will he score? When a team has a bad form, it means there is no supply. Just the way you saw Pep saying Manchester has De Bruyne, they have
Yeah.
Ericsson, and
Yeah.
see Anthony, but they can't show the character that he was expecting. He did not mention Scott McTominay. Are we
Uh-huh.
together? So that's
Exactly.
why you see there are players he knows they have got the potential, but they have got no support. That's why I'm
Yeah.
telling you, Haaland will score. He can even score 6 goals in one game. He will score. I'm
Exactly.
telling you, if
Yeah.
Cristiano,
Yes.
if
Yeah.
Cristiano, if
Mm-hmm.
Cristiano or
Mm-hmm.
Lewandowski or Messi played for Manchester City, he
Yeah.
will score six plus goals in one game because Manchester City creates. Remember, these other players can shoot from far from the box, so
Yeah.
they will score more goals. Even Rashford playing for Manchester City, he will score more goals than Haaland because He can shoot far from the box. That technique, Haaland cannot have it. If he will have it, my friend, prepare for Ballon d'Or for Haaland. Minus that, it will go to Mbappe. Because you see Mbappe, I think they are almost age mates. A range of only 3, if I'm not wrong. Mbappe can score far from the box. Yes? How old is Mbappe?
Mbappe is 23, I think so. I'm not sure though.
And Haaland is 20. A range of 3 years.
21, yeah.
So you see, right now we are running away from Cristiano and Messi. That's why you saw Real Madrid looking for Mbappe, and they didn't get him. If they could have got him, we could be expecting a Ballon d'Or race from Mbappe and maybe Haaland. Because when Cristiano was in England, it was a race of Cristiano and Messi. Cristiano was in England. I think you remember. So the race for Ballon d'Or will be now Mbappe and another player who won't be Haaland. Because it is not only goals for the club that makes a player to shine and be given a Ballon d'Or. Are we together?
So let me tell you something. Allow me to tell you something.
I'm listening.
Let me tell you one thing about Haaland. Haaland has never been another player apart from being a striker. You see, he's never played in another position apart from the striking role, right? Typical number 9. These other players have transformed their game to be goal scorers. Remember, Cristiano started as a winger. He was not a proper number 9. He transformed his game to be a real goal scorer when actually his talent, earlier he started slowing down on the pace and some of the technical ability that he had. Messi, again, was not a typical number. In fact, he is not a typical number 9 until the moment. He's just a creator. He's very good at playing that role of number 10, sometimes as a winger. But Haaland is a typical number 9. That is what he's been training ever since he started playing football. You see? That's why it's very unfair for us to compare Haaland with these other players who are technically gifted. Someone like Messi is good at the ball. Someone like Mbappe is a bit tricky. He's good at the ball. Sometimes he's good at the ball. He's a bit pace. He has a pace. Of course, I don't really, for me, my opinion is that Mbappe is not that good at the ball. He's just someone who is good in running. Compare Messi and Rashford, they are one and the same thing. It's only that Mbappe has had a big stage to showcase his talent. But Rashford and Mbappe are one and the same thing. They're good. They perform very well in pace and space. You see, when they have the ball in the space, and because they have the space, that's when they perform very well. You see, it's very unfair for us to compare the two because I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure. It's very true. The fact that Mbappe, when you compare Mbappe and Haaland at the box, of course, Haaland is very good at that. You guys talk of him having tap-ins. It's because he always positions himself at the right time, at the right place at the right time. That's what he does. But for Mbappe, you can also credit him in some other things that he does, but still he scores goals. Now, if you're going to look at who does best in what, in scoring goals, Haaland is very good at that, right? And again, there's something that he's added to the team. Of course, you saw him getting two assists against Man United. He gave Foden an assist. So if he plays around players who understands what he does, of course, he's not that person who can pick up a pass. Kama mtu kama Hurricane. You see Hurricane mtu anaweza pick pass, akuja midfield, pick a pass. Then he's more of a complete number 9. Someone who can also contribute to the team. But for Haaland is just good in the box. As you said, Ruud van Nistelrooy. The last person who played like Haaland does is Ruud van Nistelrooy. The likes of Ruud never did it. Drogba never did it. Thierry Henry never came close to Ruud van Nistelrooy. But for Haaland, he's typically following the game of Ruud van Nistelrooy. And in this time, when he plays for a team like Manchester City, you can be guaranteed that if you get the chances, you get the 3 chances, 2 of them are going to be buried in. So for Haaland, I just give him credit for what he does in the box. And that is what a typical number 9 should do. When you buy a striker, you don't need him to do any other things apart from scoring. And when a team scores with a striker, defends with a defender, and then supplies with a midfielder, then that is a complete team. What else do you need from a team?
I want to ask you a question.
Exactly.
There is a discussion about Trent and James. You are telling me about a striker being a striker, and I'm telling you the attributes of Haaland is to score widely in the box. That is a fact, and I've told you, you will only score when your team creates. If Manchester City won't create, I'm telling you, he won't score. I've told you, look at the goals that he's scoring. There is no goal that will run for goal of the season or goal of the month. Are we together? But he's scoring for fun.
No. You cannot say that. You can't say that. Because you see, it's like you're rating the only goals that win, maybe goal of the month, or goal of the year, or goal of the season, are goals that are scored from afar. Sometimes it is not like that, because sometimes someone can just shoot, and then just because the keeper was not aware enough or was not competent enough, he allows that goal to go in. Does it mean that that goal was?
Wait. At that moment, that type of a goal, the goal scored in the last weekend, you will look at the Galga. The goal Galga scored and the one Skamaka scored, they are almost similar. Are we together?
Yeah. I'm not discrediting the goal that they scored, but for you to say that Haaland will never score a beautiful goal, of course, even some of the tappings that he does are beautiful, because you remember the second goal. Yeah, I think the second goal he scored against United. That was a beautiful goal, even though it was a tapping. He was at the right place at the right time. No, it wasn't a header. His second goal. Remember his second goal? He slid in with the ball and he scored a goal.
The stretcher.
No, the stretcher one that he was supplied with De Bruyne. That was a beautiful goal.
He was stretching when he was alone. He stretched. Why do you look? He stretched. Yes.
Varane was there. Why? Yeah, Varane was there. Varane was more aware of the ball than him.
Why? He stretched against a player who had an injury. He was not fit.
Come on, man.
Wait first.
You can't say that. You just give
credit. I was saying wait. There was time when you also stretched and Martinez was there. Did he score?
No, come on.
You see, at the same angle. He stretched at the wait. Do you remember when he stretched at the same angle and Martinez blocked it? Do you remember, Lisandro?
No, listen. Let me tell you. You cannot discuss.
Answer my question first.
I don't remember some of these details. See, let me tell you, my memory doesn't remember some of these details, because the only detail that I remember, or the only memory that I have, is that Haaland scored, and he scored a beautiful goal.
What?
You see,
I've told you to wait and answer my question. When Haaland stretched against Varane, when Dalot was following him at the back, Varane did not do anything. Varane stopped, and from that moment he was substituted. Are we together? Are we together?
Of course, but then, you look at his awareness. It is not the intention. It is not the intention. It's the awareness. What he intended to make sure that the ball does not go in, but did he make it?
I've asked you that. Do you remember Haaland scored after stretching and Varane was standing still? Varane was standing still. The time when Haaland stretched and Martinez was there, Martinez blocked the ball. Do you remember?
I need to look at that again. I need to look at that again. I don't want to say yes or no because I
Let
just
me
want to look
assign
at
you.
that again. Yes.
Go and rewatch. Go and rewatch
I
that
will do. I'll
moment.
do analysis of that. Yeah, exactly.
Even the start will show you. And
Okay.
then another thing, as I've told
Yeah.
you, I give credit to Haaland because he is scoring goals. Manchester
Yeah.
City one a striker who
Yeah.
will score goals, and he
Yeah.
is scoring goals for fun. I
He
accept
does.
that.
Yeah.
That one is okay. He is scoring
Yeah.
goals like someone
For
is
fun.
swimming.
Yeah.
You are sure he will score.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the odds Haaland to score are not sweet
Yeah.
odds. They are small odds right now because it's a sure bet. Are we
Exactly.
together?
Yeah.
The only way I can dispute it, like the way people dispute
Mm-hmm.
who scores, who plays, doesn't score. I expect him to score any other type of goal apart from the ones in the box. That is my concern. I've acknowledged he's good. I've acknowledged
Yeah.
he's scoring. I mean, he
Yeah.
will always score. Whenever he's
Yeah.
fit, he will score. Whenever a chance comes, Haaland will score. My
Yeah.
only question mark is that, as I have told you, can he do
Yeah.
the same away from the box? How often
So
can
let
he do that? And you
but
told me,
I don't know whether you remember. You remember when he scored against Wolves? Go and look at that match
I
against
I remember,
Wolves. Against Wolves, he
I've
scored
told
out.
you,
He scored outside the
I've said,
box.
I've
Yeah.
said, how
Yeah.
often will he shoot away from
Often.
the box? How often will
So
he
no,
score? Yes, how often?
no. It
Do,
doesn't matter. Most of the players don't even score out of the box. Most of them, in fact, most of the goals comes from the box, inside the box. You see, most of the scorers, hata ukiangalia, most of the strikers always score. Even Benzema, of course, Benzema is quality. Benzema is a bit higher than what we are seeing now from Haaland. It's a different discussion. But again, let me tell you, as I've said, I cannot discredit what Haaland does. You see, as long as the team creates, Haaland will always score. He'll always get a chance. One thing that this team should do, the team that he plays against, is to make sure that they track his runs and make sure that he doesn't get the spaces. If the teams do that, definitely now they'll stop him. But for now, I think the way he's playing, I just give credit to him because it doesn't matter who plays with him. He just scores and he scores for fun. Let's talk about let's stop it there about Haaland. Let's talk about the derby. Tell me why are you not happy that your team lost?
wait first.
Did you expect to win? Did
Wait.
you expect to win?
I was expecting a win for my team, and I told you you were to win 2-0.
Oh,
I
how?
was I was very confident at that
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
believed our
Yeah.
coach was able to cut the supply of De Bruyne. That
Yeah.
was the only main man. And as I told you, Manchester United could only have performed if Manchester City won't play Cancelo on the
Yeah.
other side of the wings. And I told you, if Cancelo plays, Sancho
Yeah.
won't sign. And it happened. Sancho could not
Mm-hmm.
sign, and I told you, the midfield will decide where the goals will be scored. And Manchester City did it. It was the midfield. Manchester City was strong in the midfield. They
Yeah.
controlled everything. When you
Mm-hmm.
possess the ball in the half of the opponent, the
Yeah.
midfielders are well positioned. The defenders have pushed at the half of the field. Now you
Yeah.
own the whole field. You are in the opponent's half. You will score
Yeah.
goals. You will only concede when there are counters.
Yeah.
Counters will only come in when the other team has stretched, and the Manchester
Mm.
could not stretch. Instead, they were pulled and pushed together
Yeah.
to defend. When you defend alone, you create
Yeah.
loopholes. A
Mm-hmm.
player like De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish will dribble past one or two or dodge two. After dodging, he will then give a pass. The space you leave behind or in between yourselves will be used to punish you. And that's why you saw Manchester United were conceding goals that could not be considered if they had someone to commit a tactical foul. If you remember, like the assist Haaland gave to Foden, that assist, if Casemiro could have struck tactically, or which he tried to pull or to dismiss the move of Haaland, he made it to be not very fast. You saw he tried to at least to make it to be like yani kuharibu, alikuwa anaharibu hiyo move ya Haaland, lakini haikuwa successful. I think uliona. So the goals, the goals could have been avoided if they had someone to dismiss those moves. And it is only Casemiro who could do that. It's not McTominay.
Exactly.
That's why I told you.
And why do you think the manager decided to? Why do you think the manager decided not to start with Casemiro? He decided to go with McTominay. Why do you think that move?
When the coach signed Casemiro, he also signed Anthony, and on the right wing, Manchester had no striker. Haaland, Cristiano did not play in the preseason, and Marshall got injured, so they had no number 9. That means Rashford won't play on the wings; he will play as 9. And then on the right, he had signed Anthony, so Anthony will click in the system very fast. On the left, he was playing with Elanga. Elanga was wasteful. He decided to use Sancho at most. You see, now Casemiro could not play because when he came in, he was to fit in the system, in the training, because he did not come. He came at the middle of the week. Then at the weekend he could not play. He had to wait. That game, the training he did the defense, and Maguire was benched. Then Fred, then Luke Shaw. Then the team started winning. When you win, it was winning with Scott McTominay playing the role of a DM that the Casemiro can play. So the team was performing. When the team is performing, you don't change a winning team. So the coach could not have an excuse to bench Scott McTominay. Are we together?
But you see, let me tell you, it also depends. It also depends on the opponent you're playing against. Because sometimes you look at the opponent and you make a bold change. Because
let me finish.
Okay,
let me tell you. Let me exhaust my idea first, or my opinion first, and then you will understand it. There is no way you could have benched Casemiro. McTominay, and start Casemiro against Manchester City. The only thing you could have done was to play Casemiro, Scott McTominay, and Bruno. Are we together? That means he was to. That's McTominay, Bruno, Casemiro, and Eriksen, and they play without a striker. That's playing Sancho on the wing and Anthony. So these wingers were the ones to be shifting into the box as a striker. They were to interchange each and every time. That means Rashford could have been benched. So he was to kill one position, that's number 9, and to play with the 2 wingers, Sancho, Anthony, and then they will play with the two DMs. That is Casemiro and McTominay. So when Casemiro will move forward or back with McTominay, these other players will be shifting as well. Are we together? That one was to aim to make sure that Manchester City does not perform at the middle of the field. Are we together?
Yes, we're together. Sorry for that. Yeah, we're together. This comment.
We're together. The coach decided to go with Scott over Casemiro for obvious reasons. Scott has been so good and on form in recent games. He couldn't gamble starting Casemiro in such a big game when Scott. It is true. That's what I've told you. There is no way he could have done that. It is true. The only way he could have done it was to play both of them. Playing both of them, that means he was to kill one position, and that's position 9. So there's no way you could have seen Casemiro to start. But right now, he can now bench Scott McTominay and say he didn't perform against Manchester City. And then this will be only one game. So it is about Casemiro to perform. If he will be given a chance to play against Everton, I think so. If he performs, that is the beginning of his start as being in the first 11.
Yeah.
Are we together? The
Exactly.
same
We're
way
together.
Same way Malaysia was playing when he came in
Yeah.
as a first 11 choice.
Yeah.
Last game, she did not perform. If Luxo came in and performed, that means Malaysia can also be benched. Whenever you make a mistake in a team, you are punished by
Yeah.
missing the following game. Are we together?
Exactly.
So Scott was
Yeah.
good after we lost the 2 games. Last
Yeah.
game he was not good. He did not perform as expected. That's why we
Exactly.
lost. When
Yeah.
the coach made changes, the players who came in at least performed. They controlled
Yeah.
the ball. Remember when Pep saw Ten Hag making changes, he decided to remove his best players as well.
Yeah.
Pep wanted to test his team. If they don't have this players, will they score? And they
Yeah.
struggled to cope with Manchester United. If they were another 10 extra minutes from the 90 ones, I am sure
Yeah.
Manchester United would have turned the score or it would have
Yeah.
ended equal. So it is
Mm.
all about who plays and where and how.
Yeah.
Pep could have aimed not to concede. Are we together? He
Exactly.
could have aimed not to concede like Brentford, but he did not, which
Yeah.
means his team is beatable. If you can score 4 against 0 and concede 1, concede up to
Yeah.
make it 3. He only scored 2 goals in the second half. Manchester United scored 3 goals, which shows Manchester United won the second half. Are we together?
Exactly.
But
They
full
did.
time,
They did play well in the second half.
yeah. So that's why I'm telling you, the coach of Manchester also knows
Yeah.
something about Manchester City. Pep
Yeah.
Guardiola subbed Haaland, subbed De Bruyne, which was his
Yeah.
engine. The boy who came in could not meet the standards of De Bruyne. That's why I told you, Manchester
Yeah.
City won't stand without De Bruyne. And as I've told you, Man City
Yeah.
used De Bruyne, and they used Haaland, and then
Yeah.
Foden and Grealish. It was the midfield and the forward.
Yeah.
So when you think of using a very nice defender on the left and on
Yeah.
the right,
Yeah.
Haaland will only score if it's a corner, because on the
Okay.
wings, Foden will not move and Grealish will not
Yeah.
move. But Manchester
Yeah.
had not good right backs, not even left backs. So we were supposed to concede very many goals in the first half. If we could have managed to concede only 1 or 2 in the first half and change the game in the second half, we could have won it. That's
Could
why I
have won
tell
it.
you,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't feel good we lost, but I have to accept we lost.
Sorry.
But we lost.
Can you raise
I
your
don't
voice?
feel
I'm not
good.
getting your voice properly. I think you can raise your voice a bit.
I'm saying
Yeah.
I am not happy that we lost, but I have to
Yeah.
accept because it
Yeah.
happened.
Of course, you have to accept the results are there.
It happened, but still I
Yeah, it
can't believe
happened.
because I can't believe
Yeah.
because in the second half we were better. You
You
see,
are better. Yeah. Some positive from that match.
but that is football. It has got only 3 results: win, draw, lose. We lost
Exactly.
to a better side. We lost to a
Yeah.
more organized side in the first half,
Yeah.
and that's football. We are only smiling because of the goal that Anthony scored against Manchester City, against Ederson.
Yeah.
The same way to Marshall coming in and scoring 2 goals. That one makes us more happy.
Oh.
We don't feel the pain of losing. So maybe only that one. And like when he scored and I see Akanji is down, it's like he wants regretting why he considered. I feel very happy.
Wow.
So
Now, let's switch
I
the
will.
topic to the player ratings, please. Let's switch the topic to the
Okay.
player ratings. Yeah. How do you rate your players from the goalkeeper to the striker? Of course, Marshall came in and scored 2 goals, one from a penalty, another one from an open play. Very good goal from an open play. A good penalty also. Top bins. How do you rate the players that came in and changed the game and some of the players that started the game? How do you rate them?
The players who came in as substitutes played very well.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
deserved a rating of 6+. They deserved a
Yeah.
rating of 6+.
Yeah.
Casemiro Casemiro could not make it 6 because of the third tackle. He was trying to dismiss the move of ile move ya Haaland yenye alikuwa na haribu, ndio inafanya aisi kuwa venye aisi pata hiyo 6, but it was very much nice. I remember for De Gea it was not good. I think the best he can get was 3 or 4. 3 or 4. He cannot make it 5. The guy was not good. And then about Martinez, I think this time round he was not as good as he has always been. But if you compare with the first 2 games and the last game, he was better. So you can't blame him. Then Varane, the injury made it more worse for him. Maybe minus being injured, he could have been better. But I think 5 is enough for him. So look at Rashford. Rashford too, I think it's only 6. Because at some times he was trying to make some moves. So, but there is no way they could meet the rating of Manchester City players. You know, a team that wins would have good ratings.
Exactly. Everybody did his job. Yeah,
the rating of Manchester United players will only increase in the second half. But in the first half, they were poor. That's the problem.
They were poor, sure.
Only that one. There is no way I will rate them higher than the Manchester City players because they lost the game in the first half. They will only improve in the second half. And they improved after Man City also did some substitutions, which did not play as expected. So I think that's enough on that. You cannot rate a player who is losing. You rate a player who is winning. Even if a player comes in the last 3 minutes and scores 2 or 3 goals, he will be rated higher than the one who played 90 and scored nothing. That's the only way I can tell you on that.
Okay, thank you so much. And then let's talk a bit about the North London derby. Of course, did you watch Arsenal versus Spurs and some of the things that you got from it? Are you convinced that Arsenal are now favorite to win the Premier League?
That is another discussion. You cannot say that Arsenal will win. It's too early.
Okay.
You can't say right now that Arsenal will win the Premier League. It is too early. It is too very early. In the last 4 years, Arsenal has been playing English Premier League, FA, and the Carabao. Only 3. They won nothing. They didn't finish top 4. This season, they are playing Europa League, EPL, FA, Carabao. With the way the figures are very much close to each other, Arsenal cannot. I don't believe in the squad depth as compared to Manchester United, compared to maybe Manchester City and Tottenham. Arsenal is not that way with depth right now. I don't think that can happen. But it is possible in football. They can win. Leicester came like that. They had no depth. They went forward and they won it. So I won't dismiss them very much. Right now, out of 10, I give them 5. It's tough. It can either increase or decrease. We know how Manchester City is fighting right now. Manchester City has got depth as compared to Arsenal. Remember, Arsenal are ahead with 1 game from like on Tottenham has got equal games. They are only. It is now 9 points ahead of Manchester United, and they are 1 point ahead of Manchester City. Arsenal has only played Tottenham and Manchester United as strong teams. Remember, in the past seasons, Arsenal has been winning against Tottenham. Tottenham was not winning against Arsenal. The best was always a draw. And that's why I had gone for a draw between Arsenal and Tottenham. You
and
remember?
Spurs,
because Spurs was having a very nice form as well as Arsenal. So I felt a draw was okay. But when they wanted to play, Arsenal were more aggressive than Spurs. Spurs played with 1 DM. Arsenal was strong. There was nobody to stop them at the center of the field. That is what made Spurs to lose. But remember, If Tottenham made a good midfield, it means that the forward was to be it had that is Richardson, Kane, and Son. These three rely on pace. You won't run when there's no one to supply you the balls. By the time they were getting the ball to score, they could not. I think it was like ni kama walikuwa wako na ile tension ile uoga kidogo, pressure and tension. They did not balance it. Otherwise, Spurs could have won the game in the first half.
Yeah, they got some chances. They got some good chances, especially when they scored the first goal. When they scored a penalty, I think they had 2 or 3 chances. They could have buried in some goals, and probably they could have won that match. But now there is a comment you made in our group chat. You said if Arsenal, if Spurs were not given a red card, probably the results could have been different. Even though Arsenal had already scored their second goal from then thereafter the red card came in. What do you have to say about that? Of course, it was a bit controversial. Some of our members in the group were arguing with you. What do you have to say about that here now?
Number one.
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah.
Allow me to top up my data first. I'm getting a warning, and I will come back with that topic. Right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Just 1 minute. I am coming back for that topic very seriously. Right?
Okay, thank you. I'm waiting for you here. Guys, if you're here, please drop a comment. Tell us what you think about those derbies. Tell us the casualties from the derby. Of course, Haaland was a victor. We've forgotten talking about Foden. Of course, Foden also got a hat-trick. Haaland got a hat-trick. And again, from Arsenal game, of course, Partey got a very good goal, scored a very good goal. So these are some of the victors in these derbies. But the casualties, as you all know, Man United, some of the players were exposed. Malaysia, according to Papa, is saying that he was exposed. McTominay, for the first time, he faced a hard game. So tell us what you think. These derbies, are they going to claim the casualties? For some of the players we know very well are going to lose their places. Someone like McTominay probably is going to lose his place on Casemiro. And again, at Arsenal or at Spurs, someone like Emerson might also lose his place. But I don't know who will come in and replace him. Of course, at Spurs they have Doherty, who plays at the right. So probably Doherty might be given a chance to play on the right, because he did a very poor challenge on a player at Arsenal. So some of these things will change how this team play. So tell us what you think in the comment section below, and also tell us some of the predictions that we have in the games that are going to be played tonight. Of course, we have Champions League that is going to be played tonight, a big match. Barcelona versus Inter Milan. What do you expect from Barcelona now? Do you think that Barcelona are back? The last time that they were in Champions League, they played against Bayern Munich. Of course, they lost terribly to Bayern Munich. Do you now think that Barcelona are back in levels that they're supposed to be, good levels to probably get to the top of this Champions League? So tell us in the comment section below what you think about that. You can also call us in the comment section below. I have given you a link. You can follow the link and come in. I will welcome you to the studio so that we can have a discussion on everything that we're talking about here. Please make sure that you do that. And if you're here for the first time and you've not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel so that each and every time we are here having a discussion, you'll be the first one to know, and you'll be able to give us your opinion about the things that we are talking about. So guys, please make sure that you do that. Make sure that every time we are here, you give us a comment, tell us what you think, tell us what you want us to discuss in this show, tell us what you would want us to add in this show, and some of the topics that you want us to talk about in this show. Because we have a lot of things that we talk in this show, but if you have an opinion on how we should be talking and how we should be lining up the topics, you can also tell us in the comment section below. It's all open for you guys. You are our fans. Tell us what you think. So guys, I'm waiting for Papa to come in so that we can continue with Arsenal versus Tottenham, a London derby that was there. Tell us what you think in the comment section below again. What do you think about Spurs? What do you think about Arsenal? Arsenal, are they really in a position to go and win the Premier League at the moment. Of course, they've won 7 games. I mean, they've won 7 games. They've played 8 games and they've won 7. I mean, one of the best records they've had in recent times. So they probably they're in a position to go and win the Premier League. If that is what you think, you can tell us in the comment section below. So guys, let's continue engaging in this forum. Thank you so much, guys. Let's continue engaging in this forum. I'm waiting for my guests to come in so that we can continue. Guys, if you're in the comment, tell us the comment that you have. There's also a link in the comment section below. You can always join me and tell me what you think about the derbies, some of the casualties from the derby, the players that you think are going to lose their places from the performance that they made during these derbies, the Manchester derby, North London derby. You can always join me. I can see one person watching in the comment section. Please do that. Follow the link and join me. We discuss about the derbies, and also we can do the preview of the games that are going to be played tonight. Of course, Champions League is back again. We've been waiting for it for some time now, so that we can continue that way.
My friend.
Yes, let's go.
I'm back.
Yeah, let's go now. Man. Yeah.
About Spurs in the first half.
Yeah.
Spurs was the first team to score.
Yeah.
First team to create assists. I want to ask you, before the red card, first team to score was
of course, it was Arsenal. No, it was Arsenal who scored.
With a penalty. A penalty came after Arsenal had scored, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which means Spurs were reacting against a score that Arsenal had scored.
Exactly.
Then, after that, Arsenal went ahead and scored.
Yeah.
When they scored, Spurs were still playing as well as Arsenal. Every team was aiming to win. Spurs was using more long balls as compared to Arsenal. The long balls meant Spurs had players with more pace than Arsenal. I think you can see that.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the only way Spurs will win against Arsenal, by using their pace. Richardson, Son, and Kane, a forward of 3.
Yeah.
That one is what makes Spurs, to me, being able to count that goal that Arsenal had scored in the first half. So minus the red card, Spurs would make sure that they again scored, because after Arsenal scored, they also scored. Arsenal went ahead and scored. It was possible for Spurs to score again, because it was still a continuous process.
Exactly.
According to my understanding, every time.
I can also agree with you there, because recently we've seen Spurs coming up from when we played against them, we scored. Then they responded, they scored. We scored the second goal. They came again and scored the second goal, and then we got a draw. So probably if they had one man in the team, I mean an extra man, of course the man that they lost, if they had that man in the field, probably the manager could have made some changes to help the team to win the game. I mean, probably, or rather to get a draw.
And the same player has been very important in their wins too, in their goals. He has been very important. He was playing a very important part in every goal that they could score. So when you look at the game, Son came in from the bench and scored 3 goals. They used pass. They used pass. You look at the second half, when they brought, is it Kamara? When they brought him in, at least Arsenal could not push like they were pushing when they had only one DM. Are we together?
Yeah.
So Spurs lost because they had that man who they had lost to the red card. Arsenal will still concede. Arsenal has been playing. We've been seeing them playing. They've been conceding. And Spurs has been scoring goals against every opponent. So there's no way someone will tell me that Arsenal will still win easily. If they were to win, it could have been a very narrow win. Are we together?
Okay.
So I believe it was supposed to be a draw, because Spurs were going to score as long as Arsenal score. Funga ni kufunge. Funga ni kufunge. Kama ufungi sifungi, it's a draw. That's why. But because Arsenal won, and they were ahead with 1 goal when the red card was given, a fan will say Arsenal walikuwa mbele na wangebaki mbele. Swali ni kwani hatujaona timu iko mbele then inafungwa after kuwa mbele? Timu siko
no. So you see, even though with all the things that we are saying, but Arsenal again did very well, even though the Spurs got a red card. But even before that, Spurs didn't show the intent of trying. Of course, they scored the first goal. They had a couple of chances after equalizing that goal. They had a couple of chances. In fact, the momentum was with Spurs when they scored an equalizer. They got 2 chances, 2 breakaway from Son and Richarlison. I think Ken was also involved, but they did not take the chances. Then thereafter, Arsenal scored after they came from halftime, I think. Then it was a mistake. It was a mistake from the goalkeeper and the defense. Christian Romero and Loris made a mistake, allowed Arsenal to come back to the game, or rather to lead the game. Then things changed. It was with Arsenal. Unfortunately, they got a red card. Arsenal played very well.
You mean that goal that Jesus scored?
Yeah.
That tap in.
It was a tap in, eh? Okay.
Yeah. So look at this.
Yeah.
I want you to view it this way.
Yeah.
That Arsenal scores, Spurs also scores. No team wants to go and defend at most.
Okay.
Those fans who are telling that Arsenal was going to win, it's true. A team can either win, draw, or lose. For me, I was neutral. I was expecting a draw because both teams are conceding. Are we together?
Yeah, exactly.
Arsenal winning was a bit of not very much surprise, because in the last three seasons, Arsenal has been beating Spurs. Arsenal has been winning against Spurs each and every game. The best for
not each and
Arsenal.
every game. I think
Come again?
they've been winning at the Emirates. No, they've not been winning each and every game. They've been winning at the Emirates. But
In the
at
point.
Spurs Stadium, I think they always get beaten or get a draw. Sometimes it happens like that. In the
In
recent
the
times,
last,
I think they've won at Emirates. Spurs haven't won at Emirates.
it is either a win for Arsenal or a draw for Spurs.
Yeah.
You
At
get
Spurs,
me?
exactly.
Win for Arsenal or a draw for Spurs. That's why I told you I was expecting a draw because Spurs were very hot.
Mm-hmm.
But things did not work.
Yeah.
So Arsenal winning was that it's either Arsenal wins or they draw because Spurs will only draw. They can't win against Arsenal. And the way Arsenal has been performing against other teams, I was expecting a draw. But well, Arsenal has got more games to play. Spurs has got more games to play. We will see.
Yeah. All
That's
is
why
not
I
lost.
told you.
Both teams.
Yeah. Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal has not been playing like four competitions in one season.
Yeah.
It has been England only. So there is fatigue. Unlike Spurs. Spurs played the 4 competitions last season. Wolves played. I mean, West Ham played. Even Wolves played, West Ham played. Arsenal did not play the 4 competitions. Are we together?
But at
Chelsea
some point,
played.
Spurs left the competition because of, I think, some issues with the
Corona?
seating. Yeah, exactly.
With the Corona?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember. So that's why I'm telling you.
They didn't have the 4 competitions the whole season, like probably some of the teams had. Like West Ham. West Ham did get to the latter stages of the Europa League.
I think it was in the quarterfinals. Is it quarter or the best 8? Quarters.
No. Who? Spurs.
Yeah.
No, Spurs did not even complete their group stages, their group games. They didn't.
Oh.
They did
but
not.
It is true.
They
played 4.
They played for, I think, 3 games. Yeah.
They played. Arsenal did not. That is a fact.
Yeah, exactly. Arsenal had all the time to play in the Premier League, but they did not make it.
Exactly. That's where I was going. Arsenal didn't make it to top 4, regardless of playing only 3 competitions in England. They had no tours. They had no flights. It was bus and the personal vehicles, maybe with bicycles. So Arsenal did not perform as Spurs did. Are we together?
Yeah.
So this season, if someone is rating Arsenal, it's because of their form. But look what the teams Arsenal is playing against. The same team last season's Arsenal has been signing against them. That's why I said Arsenal is winning against its own strongholds. They are winning in their strongholds. If they play against a strong team like Manchester United, they did not win. Why? And they had 100% performance. Why?
You see, I'll tell you one thing. Last season, Arsenal was required to get only 1 point to qualify for Champions League. They lost against Spurs. You see, they lost against. Yeah. So I think, as you said, it depends on the mentality that they have. Of course, now from what we can see, they have the quality. The manager seems to be understanding what he's doing at the moment. He knows what team to play and some of the players not to play. He has the quality up front. The defense is good. Saliba is doing well. Gabriel is not very good, but I think he's doing well. Up front, he has Gabriel Jesus, who is also doing very well. So it's all about the mentality now. If they make sure that every time that they are required to get the result, they will go ahead and get the result. Then probably they can go and pose a challenge to Manchester City. And I think the only thing they can close a gap. Winning is a different thing all the same, yeah.
Arsenal are ahead of Man City because of 1 point only. Man City drew 2 games. Arsenal lost 1 game.
Yeah, exactly.
Man City are still unbeaten.
They are still unbeaten, yeah, sure. Right.
There is a question mark. Number 2, In the Arsenal first 11, only
Yeah.
Shaka is showing what he showed last season. He is like improving. The other players are performing the way they performed last season when they beat Manchester United, they beat us Chelsea, and they were aiming to beat Spurs, and they lost. Are we
Yeah,
together?
they,
So
yeah, they
they
did.
rarely maintain. Shaka is the only player, the head of X. He can shoot
Mhm.
from far. That is
Yeah.
the only player I can tell you will decide the future of Arsenal. The
Uh-huh.
likes of Party is not 100% reliable. The same
It's
with
not
Martinelli,
injuries issues that he has.
and I don't know why Tomiyasu is not playing.
No.
Tomiyasu, no player will dribble Tomiyasu last season,
Yeah,
if
there
you
was no player
remember.
who him. Yeah. He was
But
good.
he's
He
not
was good
playing.
at defending. Yeah.
But he's not playing. When Manchester United played against Arsenal, Sinchenko was a problem to Arsenal. He could not control Anthony each and every minute. Are we together? So don't be expecting that Arsenal will win every game. No, Arsenal is going to face a City Bordeaux limit. Bordeaux is not a joke. Bordeaux is going to decide the future of Arsenal in England. Although Bordeaux is playing Europa League, Bordeaux is not a joke. We've seen Bordeaux playing against the Roma of Jose Mourinho and beating them in the group stages. Arsenal meets Bordeaux, then they have to go and meet a City, Manchester City, or Liverpool. Then comes Chelsea. So the fixtures coming next will decide whether Arsenal will maintain being at the top or they won't. Something I don't see it happening. Because as I've said earlier, in the past seasons, or even last season, we saw Arsenal. We expected Arsenal to manage to top four, but they failed. Spurs coming from nowhere and taking the position. So Arsenal won't win the league as we are discussing now unless they maintain. So there is no way I am going to convince that Arsenal is going to win the league because of the first 8 or 9 games. It is
Yeah.
not possible. The range
Yeah.
between Arsenal and Man City is 1 point. We've been seeing Liverpool and Man City going one on
Yeah.
one till the
Yeah.
last day. And
Yeah.
Man City had the depth. Liverpool
Yeah.
had a good code. Can
So that is
Arsenal
what
do that?
I'm questioning whether Arsenal has that in them, the mentality of competing up to the last game. That is something that I doubt. Going by the last season, of course, they had such kind of a scenario when they were fighting for top four against fight in between them against Spurs, Chelsea, and them. They did not qualify because of that. They were supposed to get just 1 point, but they did not get it. So nowadays, I think the bar has been raised so high. You need to get more than 90 points so that you can win the Premier League. So if you don't do that, it's not easy. I think that is the only thing that I can question from Arsenal. And some of the things that you've said, do they really have the depth? Do they really have the quality? If they lose one of the important players, you say Shaka, are they going to get someone to replace them? Are they going to get someone to replace Tomiyasu? Are they going to get someone to replace their striker who is Gabriel Jesus? Some of these things, these are the factors that they should consider. Probably ndio wafikirie kama wanaweza chukua ligi. But for now, it's too early for us to talk about that. Even though things might change. Remember, you also quoted Leicester. Leicester people thought that they are not going to win the Premier League, but walienda na win the Premier League. But again, with Leicester, they did not have any other competition where they were competing. They only had Premier League.
Exactly.
So some of these factors have to be considered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see Leicester coming from Championship. No manager knew how Leicester can play.
Yeah.
Leicester were new in the league and they had their own style. There is
Exactly.
no manager who was expecting that he will know how they play. It is their problem. And they
Yeah.
play one game in a week. The same Arsenal has been doing last season. Arsenal was
Yeah.
playing one game in a week, but they
Yeah.
could not manage to make it to top 4. Right now,
Yeah.
they are playing
Yeah.
4 games. Or
Yeah.
I mean two. Two in a week. Two
Yeah.
in a week. They play Thursday and Sunday. Thursday, Sunday. I am not convinced, my friend. And they are winning against the teams. These
Mhm.
teams last
Mhm.
season, Arsenal was winning against them. Last season, Arsenal lost to Brentford in the first game. The
Yeah,
way
they did.
Manchester lost, they lost to Brentford, and they
Yeah, they
won
did.
the second game.
Yeah.
This season, they have won the first leg.
Yeah.
Last season, Arsenal smashed Manchester United. The last fixed. Are we together?
Yeah, they
And
did.
they drew. They drew or they lost. They won.
Arsenal lost to Manchester United.
They lost.
Yeah, they
The
lost.
last
Ronaldo scored two
with
goals.
with Carrick again
With
this
Cardiff.
season,
Yeah.
they have again lost. Are you
Yeah.
seeing? So
Yeah.
I am not yet convinced. But
Yeah.
I
We'll see
will
what will
maybe.
happen. Of course. We'll look at. We'll talk about them. We start talking about the discussion of winning the Premier League when they face Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool, they don't really seem to be winning against Liverpool. Doesn't matter whether Liverpool are doing well or not, they always lose against Liverpool. If they will get
I
an edge
told
against
you.
Liverpool, then we'll start discussing about them winning the Premier League or being in that conversation to close the gap. For me, I think the conversation will be closing the gap. Looking at the best teams in England at the moment, you can say, but going by the past season, the 5 season past, the 5 seasons back, they've been Liverpool and Manchester City. You can always talk about closing the gap. The likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, no, the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, and Arsenal can always talk about the closing the gap on these two teams, two big teams, who always get so many points, 90, 95 points, something that has never been done by Arsenal and Chelsea in the recent years, and Manchester United. They've not done that in the recent years. So that is what these teams should do. They should try and close the gap, make sure that they get maximum points. Because when Liverpool start winning, when Manchester City start winning, they don't seem to be stopping. I mean, they always go on and on. 18 games, 14 games, some of them even 20, 23 games. They don't stop winning.
You know, the only team that I can fear it's Manchester City. Manchester City can maintain the winning.
Yeah,
They have been doing it.
they've been
It is
doing it, right?
true. Man City has been doing it. Yes. We will
Yeah,
wait to see will they maintain. You know,
yeah,
in England, they have
yeah,
never won 3 times consecutively. They only
yeah,
won twice.
yeah.
3 times I've never seen them winning. Maybe it will be the first time. So we
Okay,
will wait to see.
okay.
And
Thanks
I've
so much.
told you,
Yeah,
look at the fixture of Arsenal in the
yeah,
coming days. If they have
yeah,
got Bordeaux, they have got
yeah,
Liverpool, they have got I
yeah,
think Chelsea. So the
yeah.
fixtures that are coming will decide for Arsenal.
They will. They
And
will
they are
decide.
playing and the coach is playing the same team. He is not
Yeah,
changing.
yeah.
That
It's
is
not
a
changing.
challenge.
Yeah.
Fatigue,
Yeah.
yes,
Because I can
fatigue
see
will
you have
decide
two
for them.
minutes. You have 2 minutes. You said that you are leaving at 2, right?
I can only give you 5.
Oh, okay, fine. So let's talk
I
about
can
the.
only do 5.
Okay, let's talk about the UCL a bit because we have games tonight. But I think let's focus on Manchester. Let's focus on a Liverpool match. I think Liverpool has a match tonight, and also talk about Barcelona. Let's talk about Barcelona versus Inter. That is the big game that maybe you are looking forward to. Barcelona versus Inter. How do
Barcelona,
you expect Barca?
okay, Inter.
Yeah,
Inter is not a joke for Barcelona. It's not a joke. But right now, Inter has got injuries. The
yeah.
players, the forward, that's Lukaku and who? They are not fit.
Martinez.
The three guys. Three
Okay,
of them,
okay.
and that's why they even lost to Roma.
to Roma, but
So
Roma did score good goals. I think they were quality that day. Give credit to Roma. Then they played well. I don't think it's because of the injuries.
Roma,
Yeah.
it is because of the injuries that Inter had. I believe
Okay.
the
Okay.
forward,
Yeah.
the strength of the forward will decide how the midfield will play.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good forward, the midfield will not play well. That's
Yeah.
like it's a team plays as a unit.
Yeah.
So
It does.
Inter, as a unit, Inter was not good against
Yeah.
Roma,
Yeah.
and against Barcelona, Barcelona are good. I think it's only that guy that is Kunde and
Yeah.
Araujo. Who Araujo? I think with Memphis.
Yeah.
I think only those ones are not fit currently. The
Yeah.
other one like Lewandowski, the likes of Garcia, likes of this winger called Dembele are still fit.
Yeah.
Dembele and Lewandowski will decide who wins the match. Only those
But
ones. If Dembele shines,
yeah. But you see,
if
again,
Dembele,
when you
yeah,
talk about Barcelona, when you talk about Barcelona, they lost against Bayern. Even though they played very well, they missed a lot of chances, but they still lost against Bayern. Something that they've been doing. I mean, they've been losing against Bayern. The last time they played in the Champions League, they lost against Bayern terribly. So, do you
only
expect they'll continue in the bad form that they had in Champions League going to Inter Milan's game? Because, of course, as you said, Milan are not, of course, they don't have their strong players. But again, Barca has not been having a good form in Champions League recently. What do you expect now? They're going to meet.
the worst for Barcelona is a draw
The worst is the draw.
against
Okay.
Inter. The worst is
Yeah.
a draw, but I expect Inter to lose because
You expect?
Barcelona is more of the form is there, but
Yeah.
class. Form
Yeah.
is temporary, class
Yeah.
is permanent. Class of Barcelona, the name Barcelona is a class in Champions League
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
compared to Inter. So Barca can win. You will say, oh, it's Barcelona that won. If they lose, it becomes a news. Are we
It
together?
becomes, even though
It's because
nowadays
of the class.
they've been losing terribly.
That's the
They've
problem.
had a record of losing terribly. They've lost against Bayern so terribly. In fact, three times, man, losing terribly. See, I think the name has been eroded. Now they are not big guns in Europe now.
Some
Yeah,
Bayern Munich, they always punish.
yeah,
Bayern Munich, they always punish. You don't look at Bayern Munich as you look at PSG or as you look at Arsenal. You look at
yeah,
Bayern, you look at Real Madrid. Are we together? They
exactly.
don't punish like Man City can. So that's what I'm telling you. Class. The class of Bayern Munich is high as compared to Barcelona. Now you talk
Yeah.
about form, Barcelona are a
Hmm.
bit down, as well as Inter. But in football, everything
Yeah,
is possible. Don't be
yeah,
shocked when they lose. Because they've been losing in Champions League.
yeah. They've
They
been
only have
losing.
a win against they have a win against the prison. A very bad team.
Yeah, yeah,
So
which is not a small team anyway.
yeah, if they lose, then you will realize that it's true that they've been having a bad form. But for
Yeah.
me, the best is if you are going to bet, you will say GG. They will both concede. It's possible. But for
Okay.
step to the win, it's Barcelona or draw. But I won't be shocked if they lose because of their form.
Yeah.
And then whom do they meet next in the league? It is Madrid. Barca.
Oh, I'm not sure. I've not checked though. I'll check. I'll check. I don't know
Eh,
whether I'm going to meet Real Madrid.
Look at whom do they meet next game.
Yeah.
After they have known who they are meeting next game, then they are now leading. They might decide to throw away Champions League and focus on La Liga.
It's too early to
Because,
focus on La Liga though. I'd rather
come again,
go. It's too early to focus on La Liga because you'd rather qualify for a group stage of Champions League because you see Barcelona are also in financial problem. So if they really if they focus on Champions League and qualify, there are some fun that come with that qualifying in the other group of 16.
it is true,
Yeah, they
but
should.
remember,
Yeah.
the coach brought in Rafinha.
Yeah.
Rafinha, who is not shining as expected. Dembele is back. They've got Lewandowski. Kunde is right now injured. So he made some additions, yes. We will see. But as I've told you, according to me, they better focus on La Liga than Champions League. Because they can't win Champions League. They should be focused on the Liga to give a big range. Right now they have got a better goal difference as compared to Madrid. But Madrid have got a good squad. Madrid have got a young squad as compared to Barcelona.
Exactly.
So they better focus on La Liga than Champions League.
Okay, thank you.
If they lose this game, then forget about them. But if they draw or win, they are still surviving.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for coming, man. I appreciate your time that you've given us today. Of course, I know your time is up. Let's meet tomorrow or tonight, because of course tonight we'll have a show. We'll be talking about, dissecting on the on this Champions League. Of course, we'll do the previews a bit of some of the games, the Liverpool match, the Barcelona match. Of course, I'll be getting the guys to tell me what they think about the prediction and some of the players that they expect to score in these matches. So if you'll find some time, you can also join us as we discuss about all those topics. Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome, my friend. Have a nice time.
Okay, thank you. Bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are leaving now. You can join us tonight as we discuss, we do the preview of the games that are going to be played tonight. That is, the Champions League is back again. We're going to look at the Champions League. We're also going to look at some of the stories that are coming up. Of course, we know that Christian Kunku has had a pre-agreement with Chelsea, pre-contract, a verbal agreement with Chelsea. Of course, he'll be joining Chelsea come next summer. And again, some of the players that Chelsea are also expecting to be signing from our side, we'll be talking about that. As we also discuss about the chances of Chelsea qualifying in the last 16 of Champions League. Of course, they've not had a good start of the Champions League group stages. They've not won a match, actually. They're going to play. They're going to face AC Milan. So we look at that, whether they have a chance against AC Milan, or rather they will be dropped. I mean, they will be kicked out of the Champions League this time around. So we look at that, some of the chances that they have going forward. So guys, make sure that you join us tonight, and make sure that if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, so that each and every time we are here discussing about football, you will be the first one to know that we are here. Please, let's meet tonight. Bye. Make sure that you subscribe, comment, and share.